This is a special holiday broadcast from Wave News, celebrating what's good in our community. Sponsored by Bear Nose Pizza. Yeah, it's that good.
Thanks for joining us here on Wave. I'm Myra Ansari. For the next hour, we are celebrating the good things happening in our community and the people making a difference. Here at Wave, we've been sharing these positive stories, and the holiday season is the perfect time to reflect on the good things all around us. There is no shortage of people helping people. We start with a group in southern Indiana who are using their creativity, some fabric, and thread to pass on a little bit of love, piece by piece. Inside St. Paul Episcopal Church's carriage house in New Albany is a well-kept secret. Do you think people realize what's going on inside this church?
Nobody knows.
A group of women.
I retired about 3 years ago.
Well, anybody is welcome. I wanted to have that heritage for my family of making quilts.
Who make up the Southern Indiana Quilt Guild.
And like I said, I'm a terrible seamstress, and nothing is pretty and straight. It takes patience. Takes a lot of patience. But they keep on telling me, just keep on doing it.
That's where spray starch comes in.
With fabric, thread, machines,
And done.
and a mission.
The creation of putting the fabrics together, matching the colors without color in your eye sees it better.
That's always important to give back, to give more than you take. A lot of these ladies have made hundreds of quilts, and they probably have enough. All their friends and family are well stocked.
So they're sharing their talents with others.
So I can finger press.
Sure.
It's just a good thing to do.
The Southern Indiana Quilt Guild makes things like quilts, bibs, tote bags, aprons for organizations in need.
It just makes me feel like I'm giving back to the world.
Some of the charities we give to, we try to get them to come in once a year and talk about their work, and that kind of brings it to our heart to know where the quilts go and how meaningful they are.
Places that help people with addiction recovery, new babies and moms, hospitals and seniors.
A lot of wheelchair blankets, you don't think about it, but most throws you buy are going to get tangled in the wheels and cause problems. So we can make them to their size and their specifications.
It can take weeks to months to make a quilt. When it comes together, it's like a piece of art. The shapes, the styles, the patterns are truly unique.
It makes me feel like I'm passing on a craft.
For the group,
They are doing wonderful work.
it's a way to socialize, learn, and pass on something they made with love.
We're also privileged, so many of us, and have a house full of blankets that we fight over on our couch. So it's somebody else's turn to take some of our time and talent and share that and let them wrap up and be warm in it.
The Guild welcomes anyone over 14 that is interested in quilt making. They meet the third Monday of each month at 10 a.m. at St. Paul's Episcopal Church, Carriage House off of East Main Street in New Albany. This next story is all about bringing some holiday cheer to children who need it the most. This season, it can be extra tough for kids in the hospital and their families who may be missing out on the holiday traditions. Enter the U of L's pediatrics team with a creative idea. Here's Wave News anchor Brian Schlonsky.
We've got our paper that we taped up. We have to get it cut to size. She runs it through the laminator. Finished panels go on the floor. These two. Thank you. And then all we have to do is tape them up in the windows.
The process is well thought out, but don't call it an exact science.
Please, no.
Exact or not, Buffy Sexton and her team with the University of Louisville School of Medicine Department of Pediatrics have been crafting these Post-it notes into holiday art pieces for the last 3 years.
And each year we're changing it up a little bit each year.
Sure, these sticky note sketches are cool, but they're also so much more than that. You see, the windows at U of L's Department of Pediatrics on Floyd face here, the east side of Norton Children's Hospital. Inside, sick kids and their families fighting unthinkable battles.
Being in the hospital over the holidays is awful, no matter what the reason. And a lot of our patients are over there for really big reasons. And so just something to take their mind off of it for a second to give them a little bit of joy. I mean, December in Louisville is drab. It's gray. You can only look out that window and see a parking lot so many times.
So instead of a parking lot, by the time this team is finished, the kids will see Bluey, Yoda, Minions, even Chippy the Elf. He'll be mischievously moving every Friday, just like a real elf on the shelf. Last year, the kids in the windows started making their own art, their way of saying thank you to those just across the street.
It was just that one moment that, it was bright and it was happy and that took their mind off of what they were there for just a little bit.
You might be wondering where the U of L team gets all of the Post-it notes from in this project. Well, the company 3M has a facility in Cynthiana, Kentucky. They heard about the project and donated thousands of them. Imagine finding out that you needed a new organ to survive. Now imagine joining more than 100,000 people who are also waiting for that life-saving transplant. Unfortunately, there are not enough donors to meet the need. And I know those statistics, they aren't good, but this story is. That's because one Meade County man is alive because he has a new heart. And he got to thank the family of the man who helped keep him alive.
You don't look like you had a transplant. You look great.
That's what people say.
It's incredible.
When you've been through what Dewey Scobie has been through,
I think we caught you at the very right time.
you can understand why he's so grateful.
It was really bad. So I was near the end.
Dewey had heart issues for a long time. Doctors exhausted all resources to keep him going. In 2024, he was in the hospital with heart failure.
The survival with end-stage heart failure is dismal.
I had a choice of just doing palliative care until I passed away or do the transplant.
At 58 years old, Dewey needed a heart transplant. More than 4,000 people in the U.S. are waiting for a new heart. And that's where Rock Dabney comes into the picture.
He was quite the character. Yeah, he was the life of the family.
Rock was just 28 years old when he died in a car crash in March of 2024 in Pennsylvania. His uncle spoke to us.
So it was tough seeing him laying there in the road.
Rock's sudden death was devastating for his family, but because he was the type to help others, Rock was an organ donor. Once Rock died, there was only a 4-hour window to get his heart from Pennsylvania to Louisville for Dewey.
I was really nervous. I was really scared because, this could be the last time that you're around. Because once you go into surgery, if something goes wrong, you're just not going to wake up.
It's still emotional for you to think about.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Why?
Because I received my heart from a 28-year-old kid. I call him a kid because, I have a son that's 27, a daughter is 25. And it just bothers me that I'm almost 60 and he didn't even get to grow up, really.
The transplant and recovery was thankfully a success. 11 months later, Dewey ran his first 5K. A picture of Dewey with information that he was a new heart recipient circulated on the internet. Rock's family knew his heart went to a Kentucky man. They connected the dots and reached out. In August, the families decided to meet each other in Pennsylvania. Dewey brought along a stethoscope. It was emotional for everyone, including Rock's mother.
She got to listen to her son's heartbeat in my chest. So.
Probably the first time I seen my sister smile since the accident.
Then I had a line of people that wanted to listen.
I think that helped with the healing process. Kind of came full circle.
The families exchanged stories and realized that Rock and Dewey were a lot alike. They both loved Halloween. The two would have probably been friends.
We all would agree that if I would say Rock had a hand in picking Dewey to receive his heart.
With this second chance, Dewey says life just feels a whole lot nicer and he feels so much better. You're 59 with a 28-year-old heart.
Right.
How does that feel?
It feels great.
Organ donation gave Rock's family a powerful and positive outcome from their tragic situation, allowing them to focus on the good that came from their loss.
I look at everybody a whole lot different than I used to. I don't get mad. It's just, calmer and everything because I've got a second chance. So everything else is just daisies.
Rock's family says they know that he had a kidney that went to a boy in Pittsburgh and another kidney and his liver that went to a man in Ohio. They find comfort in that other people are alive and using his donation. Dewey says when he dies, he can't donate his heart, but he will give whatever other organs and tissues that he has.
What's Good from Wave News. We'll be right back.
More goodness to share here on our What's Good special. I want to take you to a place in Louisville that is really showing people what love can look like.
So I loved the front porch.
Inga Arvin and her husband saw potential in this house on Alfred Avenue in Louisville's Portland neighborhood. But this house didn't always look like this. Boarded up and run down, they knew they could turn this house into a home. But this property was part of a package deal.
So when we purchased the house, it actually came with the community center building next door, which is about 20,000 square feet of space with a basketball gym and a ballroom.
The Mackin Building Gym has a lot of history.
Muhammad Ali boxed in here back in the day. The ABA basketball played here. If you were invited to play basketball at the Mackin, you were a hooper.
The Arvins noticed that there was a need for kids to have a safe place to play in the neighborhood.
So we opened the gym and we had very quickly probably 100 to 200 kids coming every day.
Let's be real. The Portland neighborhood doesn't get that much love. A lot of the homes are run down. They also face a lot of crime, drugs, and poverty. The thing about love, it often has a chain reaction. When you start to love something, you want to take care of it. You want to see it thrive. Wow. And that's what the Arvins did when they moved into the Portland neighborhood. They came up with Love City. The idea is to invest in your community and love your neighbors. Soon after, the gym opened up.
So we're going into the basement, and this is where we have classrooms.
The mission to help grew.
So we do assessments.
There is now a private pre-K through 5th grade school called Mighty Oak Academy.
So this group's working on multiplication and long division.
In order to go to school here, kids have to live in the Portland area. This is really cool. Did you transform a lot of the space into classrooms?
Yep, so we built all these rooms.
There are about 40 children who go to school here. Hi, guys. And across the street,
This is our pollinator garden.
used to be a home that was a known drug house.
Let me get this here.
It's now a community garden called Love Grows Here Farm.
We've got tomatoes you can see everywhere. We've got cabbage. Oh, our eggplants are looking good.
Children at Mighty Oak get to use this space as an outdoor gardening classroom and eat what they're learning about. The vegetables are for the neighborhood as well.
A lot of people say Portland is a food desert, but there's also ability to grow your own vegetables.
And speaking of food, nearby is the St. Cecilia Church, which is home to Love City's restaurant called Portland Barbecue.
What kind of sauce? Red, barbecue, spicy?
In a community where there aren't many dining options, it's a place where people can buy a hot meal.
Actually, our a nonprofit who's here helping another nonprofit, and they said, hey, there's a great nonprofit down the road.
There's also a thrift store called Merriment Thrift. Money that's earned from the thrift store and restaurant goes back into Love City's mission.
Aren't they the cutest?
Carolyn Goodman has lived in the Portland neighborhood her entire life.
In all my life here, Portland has never had anything.
Until Love City came along.
Do you think I can make it right there?
It brings Carolyn hope, seeing young children have a safe place to learn and play, a place where her neighbors can stay true to their roots of just loving their neighbors.
We deserve change, and change for the better.
It's a flower.
I love the people of Portland. I love what's going on here in Portland.
Love City has been around for 10 years now. They are in the works of building a daycare as well.
What's good from Wave News? We'll be right back.
The whole world followed the story of a Louisville Little League team that defeated Japan in the 2002 Little League World Series. But the program had struggled since reaching the top of the sport. Wave News anchor Dawn G sat down with a former player revitalizing the program. She takes us to a neighborhood in southwest Louisville and shows us what's good.
If you start to rebuild it.
So it's kind of like a restart, you know, it's like a renaissance where everything's kind of restarted again.
They will come.
You know, over the course of 4 or 5 years, it's kind of had a rebirth, and the community has just dug in, you know, wholeheartedly.
Valley Sports American Little League, home of the 2002 Little League World Champions in Southwest Louisville, had seen better days.
The structures, they were riddled with graffiti. You know, they probably hadn't been painted in years. It was just very dull, not inviting. You know, it's not an environment that which you bring your kid up here that you'd be excited about. There was busted windows in some of the press boxes, and squirrels had just taken it over.
It looked like it had struck out.
And this was a pillar in the South End for forever, you know, for a long time. I grew up playing here. My family grew up playing here. So my childhood, my core memories, so many of them happen here.
Now, Matt Payton, former Valley sports player, now firefighter and father, was at bat and agreed to take on the role of president of the league, October 2020, right in the middle of COVID.
And my immediate response was, no way. The next day I said, hey, I'm going to do it. None of this would have been able to get accomplished without the help of everybody that around here. This whole area just stepped up and just, you know, stepped up to the plate.
It wasn't just the community painting, building, and buffing that made it shine. The kids have knocked it out of the park, too.
Our first state champion last year in coach pitch, first state champion we've probably had as a league, and I couldn't tell you the last time. Also had a 12-year-old softball team this year win district, and they competed at state. And as of 2 years ago, we didn't even have softball. Now we got an 11 and 12 team that has, for the first time since 2010, won district.
The team will now take a swing at the state tournament. But Peyton knows it's about more than just the win.
It's not just the game. It's learning how to be a good person when they get done playing the game. It's not necessarily about your kid becoming the best baseball player or the best softball player. It's about the attributes you can learn that the game teaches.
The Valley Sports 12 and under major baseball team made it to the Kentucky State semifinals over the summer, which was a huge accomplishment. Peyton hosts family events for the athletes through the year to build community. Registration for the spring season is happening now until early January. We have a lot to celebrate in Wave Country, but you have to let us know about it, not just after it happens. Let us know in time so that we can help spread the good news. If you know about something good happening in the community that deserves a shout out, you can send us an email to what'sgood@wave3.com. As we work to highlight what's good in our community, we're introducing you to a project that's been 4 years in the making. Brian Schlonsky gives us a look at this first of its kind picnic table that's accessible for everyone, including people in wheelchairs at Shepherdsville Park.
Going back in time, there was no accessible parking, there was no wheelchair ramps.
Dan Souter remembers a time, it wasn't that long ago, when the world wasn't very accessible. Of course, he also remembers a time when that issue wasn't one he thought about much. Then came junior year in college.
I was riding a motorcycle. We were out on the West Coast on vacation. A drunk driver ran a stop sign.
His leg shattered.
Finally came down to either my life or the leg.
Stories like Dan's, while they often begin with tragedy, sometimes can lead to great change.
It definitely opened my eyes to the ADA compliance.
Enter Brady Rawson. 4 years ago, he was a Bullitt Central High School student. Brady, along with a group of engineering students in the GE Appliances STEM program, took on a challenge: find a way to make public spaces more accessible for everyone.
It definitely just started out as a concept, and I didn't know where it was going to go.
The concept? A picnic table that can easily accommodate wheelchairs in any of the table spots. Where it went, on a 4-year journey that brought a community together. The students created a prototype, pitched it to the Shepherdsville City Council. Council says it's a go. Then engineers with U of L and GE helped finish the design. Thursday at Shepherdsville Park, a concept officially becomes a creation.
It's just that it's amazing to see it, and it's great to see how far it's come.
For GE's Michael Ekbundit,
sorry, get a little choked up.
This project was his baby too.
And I think a testament to what can happen when we think a little bit outside the box.
Souter can't wait to bring his friends.
I think it's a giant step in the right direction.
The mayor of Shepherdsville says this table was donated. In the future, the city plans to work to find ways to fund more projects like this to improve the quality of life for families. A group of Central High School students at JCPS helped make their school more accessible for everyone. Students in the school's adaptive manufacturing pathway 3D printed new Braille signs for students with visual impairments. One student who was blind told classmates and teachers that he was having trouble navigating the hallways and finding the classroom. He says when the school underwent renovations, some of the Braille signs weren't installed.
I brought this idea up to Mr. Brown, Chris Brown, saying, hey, what if we just use the 3D printers to print out some large print and Braille signs for the rooms so I could, me and my other visually impaired buddies could figure out what rooms are what without having to count doors and having to be showed where to go.
It's just really making sure that they take care of others and how they can do that. When Josh is in here with us, we're always making sure he's all right, but we treat him just like a normal student. But there's an understanding that if he needs something picked up for him, if he can't find it, that we always look for it for him. But he's very self-reliant. And I think our kids see that and are inspired by that because he's got a lot of challenges, but he doesn't let that get in his way, and he kind of perseveres every single day.
In addition to helping out their fellow students, JCPS says the adaptive manufacturing students are also earning college credits in the process. this for a bit. You probably have a memory of a great birthday. Maybe you were surrounded by friends and family blowing out candles on a cake. Now think about this. There are a lot of kids who don't have that, and that's really sad. But there is good out there. A team of bakers who want to make sure that at-risk, underserved kids have something sweet on their special day. Gina Cochran doesn't consider herself an expert baker.
When you're part of the community of people who decorate, and it can be pretty intimidating because they're all beautiful. Like, you just think, I'm never going to get that good.
But trust me, she's pretty good. The reason that Gina bakes is personal. She's a mother of 5. She discovered her passion a few years ago when a little boy named Abel came into her family's life through foster care.
He came to us when he was 6, and he had never had a birthday party, had never had a birthday cake. He was homeless. These children that are in foster care or homeless, they don't have a whole lot of good things to talk about. So I thought, he bragged to his friends, and he even took pictures to school to show his friends of his birthday. And it makes them forget for a little bit, and it makes them proud and gives them stories to relate to their peers.
While the Cochrans were fostering Abel, they decided they had more room in their hearts. In 2018, they opened their home to newborn twins, fostering Hadley and Harper. The family felt complete, so they adopted the trio in 2020.
Looking around your home, you can tell that there's a lot of love. Family is very important. You want to share that with people.
Yes, very much so.
Gina saw how happy Abel was when he got his first birthday cake. She wanted to give other kids that same feeling.
Here's a number. I felt like I kind of could do more.
That's when she joined Cake for Kids, a national nonprofit made up of volunteers who make free custom homemade birthday cakes to children in need.
Cake for Kids' mission is to bake birthday cakes and treats, cupcakes, cookies for at-risk youth. That could mean foster care, homeless, low-income, refugees, victims of domestic violence.
Cake for Kids get their requests through an agency or organization they partner with that serves children. A caseworker will put in a request for a treat on behalf of a child, only sharing the child's age and interests. That's when the bakers get creative.
One that I've done, she wanted a cookies and cream cake with an Oreo theme. One of the most recent ones I did was a Bluey cake. And my daughters, of course, are fans of Bluey, but I might be more. I love Bluey. I went and got their little Jeep and a Bluey and a bingo, and I made a road around the cake.
The volunteer bakers never meet the children that they're baking for, and that's okay with Gina.
It's important to me that they go, somebody does care about me. I can get my wish come true.
She saw it herself when her son finally felt like his birthday was special.
With the trauma that he went through, it made him forget that just a little bit. And I think it does with all these kids. That's where my feel good comes from, is just knowing that it's going to bring them joy, that it's going to bring them happiness, that it's going to bring them maybe possibly a core memory, and being a part of that brings me immeasurable joy.
Cakes for Kids has been around since 2010. They have chapters all around the country, and these bakers pay for all the supplies themselves. So if this story inspired you, or if you are with an agency that works with at-risk youth, go to our website where you can learn more about Cake for Kids. We need your help to showcase what's good. So if you know about something good happening in our community, you can send us an email to what'sgood@wave3.com. You can also find these stories on our website. Just click on the tab that says What's Good.
This